3, 2. Alright, everybody, it's Tuesday night, and this is the Tier 3 podcast, episode 7, where we have intro music.
Yeah.
Finally. I'm Eric Anderson.
Jim Maduri.
Ben Wicks.
And yes, this is the show where we finally have intro music, kind of. I'm still trying to mess with it. I'm playing it off my iPod. Not sure if I like it. I don't know. Things might still change. We'll see what happens. But it's thanks to
It's pretty good.
thanks to Ben Wicks that we finally have this intro music, because I was able to use his GarageBand on his Apple. Evidently, he's an Apple fanboy. I don't know. He's got a sweet Mac in his room.
Yep.
So. All right. Well, let's see. Announcements. We finally have intro music. It only took 7 weeks. Yeah, it's just sad. We haven't had intro music for a long time, but ever. This is the first time. But like I said, it might change. It's just like a free, evidently GarageBand. I've used GarageBand a little bit before, and it has like a list of all these free, already made music samples that you can use. I hope we'll find out. But
Are you
I don't,
sure?
I don't think there's any DRM attached to them.
Sure?
The 404 podcast on CNET.com uses one, and I actually found that one on GarageBand, which I didn't expect to find it, but that's interesting. So
That's fun.
it's just little pre-made sound bits that you can use. I hope we can use in a podcast. So thanks, Ben, for letting us use your computer.
No problem.
Thanks, man.
So I guess we will get into the news. Kindle Fire. I think pre-orders actually went out a few days earlier than anticipated, like a day earlier they shipped. So I think the actual unit went on sale at Best Buy today, and I assume you can get it on Amazon, obviously, and other places. But that's selling today. It's basically like a little iPad. Do you guys know anything about it?
A little bit.
Yeah, it's. I've been checking it out because my sister wants me to buy it for somebody. So yeah, I've been checking it out recently because my sister wants me to buy it for my brother, and the point is that it turns out it is pretty good and it's pretty reliable because it's Amazon after all, and the Kindle just basically takes all the previous abilities of the Kindle to be able to buy books from Amazon and to be able to buy movies and the like.
Right. Well, so what's new on the Kindle Fire compared to the old Kindles?
It's color.
Oh, well.
And apart from that, it's got movies, it's got music, and it's got basically all the other things a general tablet would usually offer, because it even got apps and the like.
Yeah, you can get Angry Birds on this one.
Yeah, and I'm not sure of the operating system, though. I'm not sure of what it is.
I think it's Android.
It's
I'm
Android?
pretty sure it's Android.
Was the last Kindle based on Android?
No,
This is the first time?
they're just like text readers.
Yeah.
So this is kind of different. They actually picked something up that had applets, and because Amazon does sell a lot of apps for Android.
I found this interesting. It's basically aimed, I think, to be entertainment only. There's no Bluetooth in it. You can't expand the memory. So basically what you buy is what you get.
Yeah.
Interestingly, all the movies and apps and things like that, I know it happens with the movies, they aren't actually stored on the device. You have to buffer them from Amazon.com when you stream them. So that means you have to have an internet connection if you're planning on using this for like multimedia movies, stuff
But
like that.
I think you can store it up to a certain extent. And then there's also iCloud, which does it faster. So, not iCloud,
Yeah, you can't
my
get
mistake. It's basically
Amazon cloud storage.
Yeah, they have Amazon has this cloud storage, which you can actually use. And one of the major attractions for this is its price.
$200
compared to most tablets at this point. This is really good, and this is surprisingly a lot like a good tablet, especially considering it's basically being built by Amazon, and we all know how reliable Amazon can be through their Kindles.
If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can get access to all that same content from your Prime account on the Fire. So unlimited instant videos and the lending library for books, that all comes through. Just generally, users, you can have access to, this is from Amazon's homepage for the Kindle Fire, 18 million movies, TV shows, songs, magazines, and books, thousands of popular apps and games. You get Netflix, Hulu Plus, Pandora. Apparently, Amazon's web browser is called Silk. I've never even heard of that.
Never.
But
It should be interesting.
It says ultra-fast web browsing with Amazon Silk. You've got your free cloud storage, obviously. It's got a color touch screen.
And a dual-core processor.
Dual-core processor, yeah.
Also, if we think about it, how about Amazon Prime's other abilities? Like, actually, like if you look at all the movies and stuff recently, they even came out, all the TV shows, they recently came out with a whole bunch of them from Fox.
Yeah.
And so they're actually expanding the library substantially.
They are getting a lot more content.
I've seen their movie collection. I wouldn't be too excited about that because their movies are not as up-to-date as you'd want them to be. But their TV show collections become really impressive now, and I would say the actual TV show collection comes close to some of the major suppliers.
I definitely agree. The movies aren't what you go to Amazon Prime
it's a
for.
TV shows. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think that's kind of basically based on the service you use. Like, I think Hulu is more for TV shows. Netflix is more for, well, I don't know, is Netflix more for movies? Or
I think
TV
Netflix
shows?
is more for movies, but they have a lot of TV shows. It's basically that Netflix does everything, but their main focus is the availability of movies.
Do either of you guys have Netflix accounts?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got it. I don't have any. So
yeah, I've never
Parents.
used Netflix. Yeah.
So
Well, you
Ben,
can get that on a couple, like, several different devices with one account, can't you?
Yeah.
Ben, tell us about it then.
Oh, it's really nice. We just switched down to the streaming plan with the whole deal about switching their plans.
Oh, yeah, that was a mess.
Yeah, still kind of is, but...
SNL did a good little gig on that too, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, but I really like it, that it can be used by two people at once, so if I'm at the dorm and my family's at home, I can still use it.
Mm-hmm.
Can use it on the Apple TV, on an Android phone, on iPad, laptop, anywhere really.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty good actually, because a lot of services you can't log on from two different locations at the same time. So this is definitely a plus.
Yeah.
And like even our roommate JJ has got it on his Xbox.
Yeah.
So he actually uses it on Xbox, but it's his mom's, so she is apparently able to use it at the same time. So I see him watching Scrubs and the like a lot, which is quite interesting, because he's able to use it at the same time as his mom. So it's pretty
nice.
pretty impressive. That's pretty nice.
You can be logged into multiple accounts, or one account.
Multiple locations.
That's kind of nice. I don't think you can do that with Google,
No.
can you? That's annoying. Because
Yeah.
I've got like 4 different Google accounts, and I'll log into one computer on one account, and switch accounts, and it logs me out of all the other tabs that I have open.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
It's troublesome.
Yeah,
indeed.
especially with this podcast, because all our notes, our show notes, if you
yeah.
go through them and look after the shows, I put them all up publicly. It's Google Docs, and like if I switch, because the podcast email is Gmail, but it's different than the ones I use to do the show notes. I use my personal one to do the show notes, so I'll be switching between the two, and it'll log me out of one while I go. It's so annoying. Come on, Google.
But isn't that different because you're actually using 2 different accounts, not just one?
Well, yeah, but you should be able to log into multiple Google accounts at the same time.
Without it kicking you out.
Yes, that's my problem with Google. I hate that.
It's just a security thing, man. You can't really blame them that much.
How's that? Well, okay, if you like accidentally leave your...
Yeah, one open and then somebody else accesses their email.
Well, then you're too stupid. You should have your email hacked
true,
for
but
that if you leave it open.
people are like that.
I think you should be able to log into more than one account at the same time.
Maybe they
annoying.
should have some kind of feature which allows you to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, like a setting or something.
Yeah,
like that.
some
There
setting,
you go.
some
Google,
security setting.
You heard it from us to go do that. All right. This next news is really interesting. Holograms are getting closer to reality.
Yeah, I have been quite interested in this technology for a while. So in this case, they're using actual lasers projected into air or into water, and this mostly works. This works better with water apparently at this time, but they can also do it in air by using more high intensity lasers. What it basically does is it activates the plasma within the oxygen and basically it activates the molecules in the air, and it causes them to show images. And these images can be programmed to be anything by adjusting the lasers. So over here they had a video on this website which actually showed us how they initially had just the random DNA cycle or pattern, and then they had a little dolphin swimming around.
That was cool.
Yeah, and they had then they had the person's face, kind of a mask kind of face shown. So these things are quite interesting because all of this is actual holographic technologies. This is naturally produced 3D.
Yeah.
We don't have to wear glasses, and it's even better than any other TV you'd ever see. This is real Star Wars, real. What other sci-fi shows am I looking
Mass
at?
Effect, the video game, has holograms in it.
Yeah, this is real life hologram projection.
It's really cool. It's not like a hologram like you'd see in a movie right now. It's not that quality, but it's pretty close. And I think I can see, based on what they're showing us in this video, and it'll be linked in the show notes, I can see it getting
I'd
there.
have to go against you a little bit on this because remember on the original Star Wars movies how they show how R2 displayed Princess Leia and it was all flashing and it was because this here is only 15 frames per second, so there's a bit of a lag. Like it'll actually flash and you would see the image go away and come back on and be like very fluttery. It wouldn't be stable at this point because they don't have enough frames per second, but they're improving it. They're saying they're working towards 24 to 30 frames per second. So if you remember that moment from Star Wars where you actually had R2 displaying Princess Leia in midair, that has actually become now a reality.
Yeah.
All you need is an R2 unit now.
And they can do the full color holograms by combining the red, blue and green lasers, which is crazy.
That is
awesome.
That is really impressive.
Yep, we are one step closer to holograms.
Star Wars.
It is so cool. We will put the video in the show notes. It's on Gizmodo, of course it is. All right, let's get into some. We've got lots of Microsoft news, Sony news, Apple news, general company news. Lots of Microsoft news though. Xbox turns 10 today. It's its 10th birthday. Hooray! Happy birthday!
Yay. My 2 Xboxes will be really very happy today.
Yeah, we have 3 of these in a row.
Yeah.
I think we need cake or something to celebrate this.
Yeah, we do.
There was nothing though. I
think a lot of gamers are expecting a real firmware update where it would actually improve the gaming ability of the console itself, which didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
They actually had an update, but the only thing that update actually did was improve the multimedia capability, like just connectivity to the internet.
It wasn't what people wanted to see for the 10th birthday.
They wanted to see gaming ability. They wanted to see some more hardcore gaming coming in.
But
what do you think about that, Ben? What do you think they should have done? What do you think Microsoft should have done?
You play any Xbox?
They should have released a brand new Xbox today.
Oh, okay.
New console?
Yeah.
Their console's coming apparently, but
720 or something. I don't know what's next.
oh, that's just the rumored name apparently.
Yeah, I don't know about
I
that.
hope they
Xbox
change the
720.
name. I'm kind of hoping they change the name. It's just my own
Like-
personal opinion, though.
I've said this before. If I'm fine with them calling it the Xbox 720 if the physical console stays the same. If they change the layout of the physical console, then they can't call it the Xbox 720. They have to go with a whole new name, I think.
Mhm.
But
But,
that's just
but
my
what do you
opinion.
mean by physical layout, though? That's what my
Like,
question
if it
is.
looks different.
But-
If it looks different. Like in a large... Okay, I realize it looked a little bit different from generation to generation.
No, but I mean more like, okay, PS. How about that? What do you think about them keeping the same name? Because PS1, PS2 looked very similar,
And then the
and they
PS3 was
were-
a jump.
PS3 was almost a totally different
Oh,
thing.
I can still see similarities to it.
Small ones, but
Yeah, you
know
make
as
a
well
good
as I
point,
do.
but I don't know. I digress. There are, back to the Xbox, there's 57, oh great, an ad. There's 57 million Xbox 360 units sold in the world right now, so
it's pretty impressive.
it's
I would
kind of
say.
starting to thin out though. Not
Decline,
as many are selling
yeah,
it.
because
the PS3 is actually
The
picking up momentum.
Xboxes, people have realized the PS3 price is dropping. The Xbox's price is still the same, and they're not really showing any huge improvements. I think they're going to probably very soon forget about the Xbox. Microsoft's going to go, not forget about the Xbox, but forget about the Xbox 360 and go towards the next one. And that's why PS3 right now has dropped prices, and they're getting a lot more attention.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Continuing Microsoft news, there's a lot of it today. Today was their shareholders meeting for 2011, and CEO Steve Ballmer had a whole big speech going, and he actually was talking about Windows 8, and he had a quote, and he made it sound like Windows 8 would be moving down to smartphones, like
Which-
the Windows 7 phone. It turns out that's the way everybody who was listening to the conference took it. Turns out that's not exactly what he said. It all comes down to, it's pretty funny, it all comes down to how he pronounced this sentence, the way he said it. It's not taken out of context. Yeah, it's not taken out of context. It's exactly how I said it. It's just how he pronounced it. I've actually got the clip here, and I'm going to see if I can play it. Hopefully this works.
Are we in the post-PC world? What are your expectations for the PC market going forward?
Well, one thing I know is we're certainly not, we are in the Windows era. We were, we are, and we always will be. That's kind of what we get paid to do. We've got broad Windows initiatives, driving Windows down to the phone with Windows 8. You'll see incredible new form factors powered by Windows from tablets, small, large, pens, smaller, bigger, room-sized displays. We are in an era in which the range of smart devices is continuing to expand. That's a fantastic thing for Microsoft. That is a real opportunity. That is an opportunity that we will pursue by leveraging and sharing and driving Windows in new ways.
So as you listen to that, didn't you agree? He made it sound like Windows 8 was going to be moving down to
the phones. Yeah.
That's not actually what he meant. He meant that the Windows in general had already moved down to the Windows platform, as he was referring to the Windows 7 phone. So whether we see Windows 8 eventually make it mobile, that's yet to be seen.
It'll be quite interesting because they have the processing power now to do it.
And if the Windows 8 beta is available for download. You can download that onto your laptop and install the Windows 8 beta operating system. I did it to an older laptop of mine, that really old, crappy Gateway that I don't care about. I put it on there, and it looks like a tablet operating system now.
It's quite interesting.
It would be very good on a tablet. It would be very good on a phone. If you have a Windows 7 phone, I don't know anyone who has one. I've never messed with one.
I'm not quite sure they do.
But it looks like a Windows 7 phone, the layout of the operating system. You go into it, and you automatically get this, like, user interface
I've actually seen
tabbed layout.
I've actually been seeing in the past the Windows phones. They actually look a lot like what you saw in the Windows 8, the extra tablet things. So I'm not sure if they've just going to integrate the extra security abilities or not, or are they just going to bring this entire operating system actually integrated for phones, make a special version for phones.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. That's what they did with Windows 7, right?
Yeah,
is that how that worked? Is Windows 7 phone, is that operating system related at all to the desktop?
I don't know, because it looks so much like what Windows 8 looks like, what Windows 8 beta looks
Windows
like.
7 phone operating system does not look at all like Windows 7.
Yeah, but the Windows 7 phone operating system
looks more like Windows 8.
On
exactly.
the computer. So I'm quite
I am
interested.
confused. What is going on here? But it'll be interesting to see. On the topic of Windows 8 news, Microsoft announced today that Windows 8 is also going to force you to keep your system updated. So I don't know if any of you guys have had the experience I've had with Windows update systems. It always seems for me to update at the worst possible time. Yes, exactly. Say I'm going in to start a podcast, and we end up starting 50 minutes late because my computer decided to update right then and there. Yes. Or you're doing a live podcast, and it forces you to restart your computer if you install new software or something right in the middle. Oh, it's so annoying. But this Windows 8, evidently it is going to force you to keep basically your computer updated by... Initially, it's going to, the way I understand it, it's going to look like the Windows 7 update. But if you don't update it in 72 hours, you keep hitting cancel, don't install, in 72 hours, it will force you to update. It will automatically shut down and restart your computer and install the updates.
Yet another security matter here. I don't quite understand.
I see why they did it, and there's a whole article in the show notes. They described in detail why they chose to do this.
But I don't understand why they can't do an actual live update or something. They discussed about having the special restart options there so that you could actually restart straight back to the thing that you were doing or your current feature or your current process or whatever. The point is that I wonder why they can't do something where they actually have certain processes shut down and then
not
update. Not directly restart the computer. Just have
Yes.
those processes, required processes, shut down for a moment and update them, then restart them again.
Yeah, not restart the entire computer.
Yeah, though I would understand if like certain processes would be vital to the computers running, but they should still be able to do this without.
Like explore.exe.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and if you keep hitting that cancel button, in 72 hours, I guess it gives you a 15-minute window. It warns you you've got 15 minutes to save all your work and make sure
Because we
everything's
are
saved
going to
because
update.
your computer is going to shut down and restart and install all these annoying updates. So it's a security issue. I mean, I see why they did it. It'll be nice people, because I feel like people who don't know a lot about PCs, they just kind of use them, the basic functions of them. Never update it. It's like you go over to your parents or your grandparents, you have to fix their computer because they haven't updated it in 5 years. It's full of viruses and malware. Maybe
Oh,
this
my
will help
God.
fix that problem.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, but it will automatically restart. I like that they give you a warning at least. It just doesn't kick you out. And
It's
lose
like, oh, you're done.
save.
Boom.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Ben?
Oh, it sounds like the polite thing to do from an operating system.
Yeah, at least they
Give you
are
a warning.
trying to warn you and then keep your security updated.
Yeah.
It should help everyone, I think.
Oh, Microsoft. We had a lot of Microsoft news today.
Yes,
That was their. A lot of it came from their shareholders meeting today. That was earlier this morning.
Do you know how old Steve Ballmer is? I was wondering that.
No idea. I haven't even seen
I don't
pictures.
see much of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't. He doesn't talk too much, does he?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mm.
I don't seem to hear a lot from Microsoft anyway compared to like Apple.
Oh yeah.
True.
Everyone else.
That is true. Apple seems to seem to be coming out with a lot of things. Now that's a totally different argument, though we can talk about.
We'll
that a
talk
little
about
later.
Apple after Sony.
Yeah.
We have lots of company news today. Yeah, surprisingly. Yeah, we'll get to Apple stuff later. Let's go into Sony. They launched their PlayStation 3D display. It's called the Lightning, I guess. Was that launched today? Or no, I think it was launched Sunday. So last Sunday, which would have been the 13th. This was originally debuted, I want to say, at the Tokyo Game Show, TGS, last year, I think. It's basically a TV, really cool. I think it's 24 inches. Looks very nice. It's a very slick unit. Like, you put this in a new modern house, it's going to fit right in no matter where you put it. It's one of those new, nice-looking products. It has the PlayStation logo on it. It's got Sony logo on it. It's an active shutter TV, so it does require glasses. But the cool thing is here, this is aimed at gamers. This is aimed at people playing 3D games on a PlayStation.
So one real quick thing. Is this like the same as... okay, but I don't understand the difference between this and using a regular 3D TV with your PS3 3D games.
I will get to that. This is right here. This is the coolest feature of this TV.
Okay.
You don't have split screens anymore for multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
The entire screen, basically based on what glasses you're wearing, I think is how it works, those active shutter glasses, the entire screen, each player will see
his own screen.
Your own screen, but it'll take up the entire space of the TV screen. So each player is seeing
own screen.
Is seeing a different image. The best way to describe it, if you happen to own a Range Rover, the newer Range Rovers, I think 2010 and above, have what's called a parallax barrier in the center unit console on that screen. So think of it this way. The driver sees the entire screen with the GPS. That entire screen is designated for GPS navigation for the driver. But the passenger
doesn't see it.
In the other side is watching that same screen, but he sees a movie. He's watching a movie on the same screen at the same time. That's exactly what this TV is doing for gamers. So you don't have split screen in multiplayer. You each see the entire TV. You've got the entire TV to work with. You don't have to worry about lines or looking at the other player's screen.
Yeah, this is in the same way. Like in the back seat, they see movies too, and it's like different. Actually, yeah, this is quite interesting how they're going from 3D technology now. When the holographic technologies come out, I wonder how that's going to affect this market.
It's very interesting. But this technology technology is crazy because it's a revolution in how multiplayer gaming is going to be done. The only question I have is how games are going to be programmed to handle this, because typically when you go into multiplayer on a game, you automatically get pushed into the split screen mode. So I'm wondering if they're going to have a feature on this. Right now, I assume it's PlayStation exclusive, right?
What I believe, it is PlayStation exclusive. Though what I do believe is that in this case, a lot of multiplayer games, the reason why they go into split screen is because because it is your console that has to render it in two different ways. Because you're on the same map, but there are two different cameras that are going around. That is why it goes to split screen. However, in this case, if you have got two different glasses, it won't go into split screen. The games can remain the same, but this will handle all the extra processing power. The games just tell it that it's got two different cameras, and you've got to work with that. And so the device actually just has to know that it has to work with two different people.
Well, the way I understand it, I originally thought it was a parallax barrier technology, like in the Range Rover, like in the 3DS. Those both use parallax barrier technology to display a 3D image. This, I don't think, uses that technology.
No.
At least what can I find? The active shutter system, I think the TV is still displaying two images, but based on the frames in the glasses that you're wearing, your partner's glasses are moving at a different rate, your glasses are moving at a different rate, which means you see two different images. You're seeing a different image than he is.
I believe it's more like your glasses interpret in a different image. It's just got a whole bunch of information on the screen. The other person's glasses basically interpret that information as something, and your glasses interpret that information as something else. Like, imagine if you were player 1 and I was player 2, then you would be way at the back of the map sniping, and I would be way in front of the map attacking. Then the idea is that it would just say, okay, this person's location is this, give him this information to look at.
But, okay, I see what you're saying, but the whole point of active shutter glasses is that they're blinking. They're actually shutting off your vision at certain points. Like, you can't see the TV at certain points. So when I can't see the TV, the other guy can, so it's showing him that image. And when I can't see the TV, it's showing me this image. So we see different... That's what... I don't know. We'll probably find out more as it comes out.
I'm pretty sure it's something like that, only, but the difference is I guess active shutter means it's going so fast that you can't really make out the difference.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to tell the difference, but that's basically... If it was really, really, really slow motion, you could tell.
It's like blink, blink.
It looks like they're advertising just that one game.
Yeah, Apocalypse.
I
think there's going to have to be in the settings a mode that you can click to tell it you're playing on this TV, so that the game knows how to send the information to the TV. Otherwise, I don't see how it can be done. Because if you play a 3D multiplayer game that's just standard, like a standard Call of Duty game, it's not going to have this technology able to display.
I'm not sure. I'm saying, as I said before, I'm not sure if the games need to have it. It depends. Like, I'm pretty sure they need to have something there to tell the TV that, okay, you can do this. But otherwise, I'm not sure if they need to definitely have that requirement, because a lot of times old games have been taken in by new technologies and played in a higher resolution or in a higher standard just because that technology was compatible.
MotoStorm Apocalypse bundle Apocalypse is the game that's shipping with the TV. It also comes with the 2 pairs of the active shutter glasses. Those actually have the battery in them, and they recharge via USB, which is nice. The TV sells for $500, and you can get it now if your heart desires.
How big is the TV again?
24 inches.
Oh, okay.
You have 24-inch HD 3D.
And then you have to buy a PS3 on top of it.
Yeah, and you have to buy a PS3 if you don't have one.
Ooh.
You can... It is a
Black Friday sales would actually cause it to be what?
I don't know.
$700, I think.
Wait,
this TV $500, the PS3 being $200.
And then you have to find a friend to play with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole point of this is that you're playing multiplayer. Otherwise, there's no.
It's like, wait, why did I buy this if I'm going to be alone all the time?
We should split the price with somebody, make it fair. 2 years ago.
It says.
But then where's it going to be?
It says this is actually the glasses. The TV is compatible with Sony, Samsung, Panasonic, Mitsubishi, and Toshiba and Sharp active shutter 3D ready displays that use the infrared emitters. So. I don't know what that means, but it sounds
So I think
cool.
I think it's because like every TV that has that little double image thing and has the active shutter technology, basically the 3D technology included, can use these glasses to play the games through the PS3.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see the reviews that come out on this as people get it.
Yeah, I'd rather read a review first before jumping into it.
Definitely. Okay. Is that all for? Yep. Sony into Apple. What were you running on time? 8:30. So Apple, they decided to finally replace some iPod Nanos that were overheating. I guess this was a problem back in September. If they were manufactured between September 2005 and 2006,
December
which
2006.
is December 2006, about 5 years ago. Apple finally decided to replace these if you have them. I guess, I don't know if they come with a little mini fire extinguisher now or what the deal is. But the original iPod Nanos had an overheating problem with the batteries. I never even heard about this. I don't remember it because I wasn't following Apple at that time anyway. So
Yeah, I had one of those.
Did it overheat?
I don't know. No,
Do you still have it?
I was stolen, so this guy will get a brand new one, I guess.
See, I wonder if people will go out and like buy used original iPod Nanos and then have them
Trade
replaced for a new one to just save on cost. I wonder if that would work.
That would be quite.
My dad actually still has his, so I wonder.
You could
trade his.
probably do that.
Yeah,
You probably trade it in.
Yeah, that's it's just odd that Apple would do this 5 years after the fact.
They move really fast.
Yeah, that was fast. Yeah, way to go, Apple.
Whoever was in charge of that might not have noticed.
It's funny how they take care of this kind of issues.
Immediately.
Like they say, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah.
They wait to take care of it.
iTunes.
I'm hoping they treat the battery issue with more severity.
Yeah, I don't know if that was.
iPhone.
I haven't heard. I didn't put that in the
Yeah.
show notes. I haven't heard anything more about that.
The
iOS
software
5 and
update,
there. Oh, I did notice today that there is an update available for iOS 5. I didn't do it. It's iOS 5.0.1.
Or maybe that might be it.
That might be a fix. I don't know if it is or not. I didn't upgrade.
Because it's
is
been,
it
Battery fix. I heard it's not totally there though.
really?
Totally fix everything.
That's interesting because
So they tried.
this is interesting. Like it's kind of sad now because since Steve Jobs has passed away, it's Apple. Actually, it seems like they're not doing.
The battery on my iPod is just fine. Like I don't want to.
No,
update.
it's okay. It's weird for me because my battery was at half yesterday. I left it without using it for a day and a half, and it says it's unread already. Like it's within the 20%. So I have not used it, and it drops.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that's
was it turned off or did
it was regular. It was just on standby.
Yeah, and on standby they usually last forever.
Exactly. That's like I was surprised at that because I had half a battery yesterday when I checked the Weather Channel, and then I didn't check it till like today afternoon. And
maybe you should upgrade.
I should
upgrade to the new.
I probably should upgrade
it's-
these.
It's not fixed all the way. What's going on
I
there?
heard there's still some lingering battery issues.
That's troublesome. That's spells bad news for Apple, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna have to launch another patch then if that's the case.
They should.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. We'll talk about that next week. See what happens.
We could talk a little bit about Apple's situation without Steve Jobs too, because like recently in my class, my professor was talking about how businesses can be affected by certain individuals and like the presence and the absence of Steve Jobs, how much of a difference it makes.
Yeah, think.
Exactly.
Somewhat of an influential.
That's
figure.
what I'm saying. We should probably we could probably talk about it sometime. Maybe not today. We don't have much time.
iTunes Match went live earlier this week. Do you guys have any experience with iTunes Match? What it is?
Not much.
I haven't looked into it. I guess it's basically like I didn't even bring up the story. It's basically like a backup for your iTunes account. But the nice thing is, if you've tried the Google Music beta, which I did for like a day, and then realized that they require you to upload your entire music library to their cloud service,
Oh my god.
which takes forever. I'm not kidding. I got like over a month wait time on that when it came up. It was
Oh my
insane.
gosh.
I don't know if it was a month, but you get my point. I'm not kidding you. It was definitely. I'm pretty sure it said over 7 days to back this thing up.
Mine's still uploading.
Over a
from
week,
last
you
month.
mean?
You're doing it?
No, I use it.
I was like, are you kidding me? It's still uploading from last month.
Oh boy, man.
You use Google.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
is that? How do you like that?
Oh, I think it'll get better.
I haven't tried. Did you upload your entire library?
Yeah.
How long did it take?
It took a few days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh man.
But the nice thing with iTunes Match is it does just that. It matches. So it goes through your iTunes library, and basically, if you have the song, it just matches it to the songs already in the cloud that Apple has. So you don't have to upload it. It just says, "Hey, you have this song.
You can
we'll keep
play
it backed
directly
up for you." Yeah.
Doesn't that also do the streaming thing?
Yeah,
Streaming
I'm
music?
pretty sure you can stream. That might be iCloud. I'm not sure
It
if
hooks
that's
up with iCloud pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's like it keeps a cached version of your favorite songs on your iPod or on your phone, so you can listen to it later.
Yeah. It also does songs that you didn't buy from iTunes, which is really nice. So everybody's torrented music will get backed up to the cloud.
Oh.
So that was kind of nice. I didn't expect them to actually do that. I figured it'd just be songs that you bought from iTunes, honestly, is what I expected. But they're doing anything in your iTunes library goes up. Does it do movies and stuff like that, too?
I think that's just the iCloud.
I think it's
iCloud.
just, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so matches just for music.
It's up
Yeah.
to like, they put a cap on the songs too. It's like 25,000 songs.
Oh, did
which
they?
is a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I've only
That is
got
a
like
complaint
2,000.
for some people.
Yeah, I'm sure it
If
is.
you're paying $25 for the service, why isn't it
Yeah,
unlimited?
unlimited. They could have a free version, then I wouldn't have a problem with it being capped.
Yeah.
So, check it out. It's probably, well, I don't know, $25 is that worth it? I guess it depends on the size of your library and the
I think
trustworthiness
it's
of your
actually,
computer.
yeah, $25 a year. So you have to
$25
be
a year.
committed, I guess.
That's
A
not too
year is-
bad.
If it's a year, it's not
not-
too bad.
It's not that
It's
bad.
probably worth it for people who love their music everywhere.
At least there are limited number of songs, because
Yeah.
25,000 songs. If people want more than that, then
Potential.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard that if you have more than 25,000, you can't do it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It just won't.
It says you have too many.
That's
Sorry.
weird. Oh, that's surprising.
Maybe that'll change.
I hope it
Um,
does.
Okay, this is just kind of a little tidbit of Apple news. G4 makes iPad cases and accessories, I
yeah.
guess, and they test them rather excessively. They make their cases durable, to say the least. So they are not afraid to test them, and their latest, let's see, is called the Extreme Edge and Extreme Portfolio cases. They are for the iPad, and they tested them to make sure that your iPad won't break while in them. They dropped them from 1,300 feet out of an airplane. The airplane was obviously flying higher. They fell out, they parachuted down, and then they
Yeah.
dropped them once the parachuters got to 1,300 feet. Why 1,300 feet?
Yeah,
why? I don't understand the number.
Maybe that's a limit.
13,000, 1,301. It's gone.
Gone.
It's gonna break. As long as you're 1,300 feet, you're fine.
fine.
You're fine. Just
Just
don't drop it from any higher.
Yeah.
It's interesting. There's a video of them dropping it, and then they pick it up, and it works just fine afterwards.
Just don't drop it from your plane.
Although it landed on grass.
So
From the blow, so I don't know if it lands on concrete.
Or on the mountains.
Evidently, though, there is a video of them
So
dropping
if you're going,
on concrete.
But then again, if you're going, what do you call it, hiking? Not hiking. If you're going mountain climbing with your iPad, it's a question.
you need a better case.
Yeah.
I guess if you drop it down the side of the mountain and it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. Well, I think for normal daily use, this case would probably be. How much do they run? Did anyone find out? Because it doesn't say on the original article.
It's probably one of those if you have to ask.
Yeah,
not
if
for
you
you.
have to ask. The case itself looks crazy. It's got all these ridges and lines going through it. Looks.
It's a super protective
Yeah.
gear. Yeah.
All right.
Durable with a capital D.
Do you know the price?
No, I never found it. I don't know. I'm scared to see it.
Yeah.
If it's safe to drop from 1,300 feet, I gotta imagine they're asking probably what, 50,
lot?
60 bucks.
Oh, it's got to be more than that.
All right. So we gotta start wrapping this up. Time killers. We have one. This actually is rather interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if you watch the local news. This actually ran on the news tonight, Channel 6. I don't know if Channel 3 covered it. Channel 6. What are they? WOWT.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But they ran this on the news tonight. It is all over the internet right now. In fact, I'd like to check Twitter just to see if it's trending, because I would bet it probably is. But Google was using their satellites, and they found in the Gobi Desert in China a series of very interesting layouts when the ground is viewed from high above. There is like it's hard to describe. We'll definitely put the link. It's all over the internet. Just Google
Gobi Desert.
China or Gobi Desert, something like that. It's really crazy, and it's a little unnerving because basically it's a giant layout that looks like a square, and it's got all these.
Where there's a square, and then there's the pattern.
Yeah, well, the pattern is a cube itself, or a square. It's, I think they said like 8 miles by 8 miles, something like that. So it's, no one knows what's for sure. The first thing when people on the internet found this on Google Maps, they were wondering if it was just like a glitch or a prank done through Google Maps. Well, I Channel 6 tonight on their newscast said they ran it through their own, a different map search, and they still were able to find it. So unless it's being, a really big prank, this is actually there. It looks really interesting. Some people have been trying to overlay. It's a kind of a grid outlook. Looks like a city, like a section of city blocks
layout,
or something like that. So what's kind of interesting is people have been trying to match it to certain cities in the U.S. Like China's kind of using it as maybe
a testing ground
for
how to attack a city.
Well, the argument there is China doesn't need to a testing ground. If they want to attack a U.S. city, they'll just do it. But it is located like 100 miles from the Chinese military bases there. There's military stuff. Chinese military stuff is all around where these were found. And if you zoom in on it close enough on one of the outlines, I guess you can see blown up cars and airplanes sitting on one of them. So I'm fairly confident that they might be using them for target practice or something like that. I just don't know what
bombing practice.
Yeah, bombing practice. I kind of doubt it's
tactical missions. Basically.
Yeah, I don't know why. What's doing
China.
it? And I've got to believe that Google satellites weren't the first to find this. The public's just now finding out. I've got to believe that our spy satellites have known about this for quite a while. So
you better hope so. Yeah.
It's really crazy. There's a Circle One. Are those cars that are around the Circle One?
It look like no, those are not the cars. I think are in the next picture. There to the you can see it there.
It's pretty crazy. We'll put the link in the show notes, but it's
pretty scary.
The sites, see at the center of this structure, you can make out planes and trucks less than 100 miles from whatever that city is, where China's space program can be found. So,
oh boy,
they're using it for something. Who knows what?
They're just making sure that they can. Which city would that be though?
I'll just read some of the articles. Some internet users have been trying to overlay one of the strange structures onto various U.S. city maps, worried that there may be a sinister military purpose behind them. That's interesting theory, but I kind of doubt it.
Maybe it's just general training about the layout. Like, you could easily replicate the layout of just anything or just make a random one to be able to practice on. So to understand the general layout of cities. Like, even then, if they ever wanted to attack or if they had to even defend one of their own cities, maybe this could be a reason. But this does not forebode well for the rest of the world.
Well, I don't know.
It's more like, it's quite an interesting thing.
It's one of those really interesting things that people get all worried about, and it's probably for no reason. I'm almost to Twitter. It is taking forever to load.
Oh boy.
I just hope I don't get the giant fail whale.
If I could do something cool like that in my backyard for satellites, I would.
There's all kinds of interesting cases where Google Maps satellites have found.
I think it's a light. A person's house is so bright that they could see it from space too.
They've found interesting lights. They've found people lying in streets on satellite pictures. They've found people doing other interesting things.
Okay.
They've found.
Street View too. It does.
Yeah, Street View. How does Google Earth find any of that stuff?
Oh, I bet it does. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it will.
I don't know.
Google Earth.
Google.
Yep. Google's gonna take over the world.
Let's see. Trends on Twitter. It is not. Nope. Don't think it is.
Oh,
actually.
That's weird.
That is very interesting because it is all over the internet right now, but it's not on Twitter. It will be. Give it time.
Why didn't you start it?
Are we trending on Twitter right now?
Yes, we are. Tier 3 podcast is trending. That's going to about do it for us this week, I think, though. We're running a bit long. I'd like to keep shows about half
Half
hour,
an
40
hour,
minutes, so that people
but-
can listen to them afterwards without having to sit forever. But that's okay. We talked about a lot of stuff. You can find us on YouTube. All our podcasts are recorded, put up onto YouTube. The YouTube site is youtube.com/T3 podcast. We are in the iTunes store. Cannot say that enough. I am so stoked about
You should
that.
put those posters up.
Yeah, I'll get the posters up. Those still have yet to go up.
Yeah.
Facebook, we're on Facebook. iTunes, just search, what do you search?
Tier 3 podcast.
Tier 3 space podcast.
Yeah.
Facebook, I don't know. Honestly don't know what you search to find us on Facebook. And then if you want to email us stories or questions, comments, if you want to be on the show,
Yeah.
seriously, we're open to anything. Just email us tier3podcast@gmail.com. And I think that's going to about do us for this week.
Have a good night, guys.
Yep, should we go back to finish out on some of that intro?
Yeah, we
music?
should. That sounds pretty good, you know?
Alrighty. Well, that's going to about do it for this week. We will see you guys next week at 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Thanks for listening, guys. Later.
Okay.